Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab where I do what I do for you. I got a nice quick lesson that I just came up with a concept. I was sitting in the parking lot. So I put it down. I'm going to give it to you. See how you like it. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's the message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's take care of business. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life, and that's what it is for me through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily. Makes it a way of life. Will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. Yep, that's what I do. A person who knows not knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not, excuse me, think and believe that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know, they're spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise, follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about, I'm going to ask the question. Right thinkers, what will you do knowing God's in you? That's when you wake up and realize you and God are one. Well, I believe God was up in heaven. I believe God is, yeah. But that's the difference in belief and knowing. I give you knowledge so that you can become gnosis. You can know it for yourself by what? Putting it to use. So let me give you this little breakdown. I hope you understand it. Now, that's a trick or a loaded question, I say. Why? Because that answer is going to be different for every individual, just like God. My idea of God is going to be different than your idea of God. And it should be. Why? That's the way it's meant to be. That's what makes you individual. Every person is responsible for what they think, feel, and believe. Okay? We all got the same equal opportunity to learn. That's the level playing field that nobody controls except the Almighty. All right. But first of all, we was, first of all, what you was doing before you found God in you. You were doing a whole bunch of nonsense. You believe in a whole bunch of superstitious stuff that they told you. You believe you went through the motions. But once you got knowledge, once you obtained that, used and perfected that knowledge and became what? Enlightened to who? Yourself. Different ball game. Now, question is, what you gonna do? When I found God, I went to work. I'm still working. Moving on. So everybody's different. Like I said, everybody's response will be different, but at least you should have your own response. So stand on it. If that's it, stand on it. No, well, but I don't. That person who's confused, not knowing thyself, you ain't gonna make it. You fit stragglers never make it. With God consciousness, and that's what self knowledge is. You become conscious of God within yourself. Simple as that. All that praying and no good deeds, righteous and virtuous integrity living. Simple. It ain't brain surgery. Remember, our ancestors wasn't too literate, okay? But they knew how to live. My grandmother told me I got a sixth grade education, but you can't trick me. Meaning I got life knowledge. I got self knowledge. Again, she didn't know how to put it that way, but that's what she was saying. Okay, and I understood it now. I knew it then, but even better now. And understand this. In life, If doing wrong makes you feel good, if you get pleasure from cheating people, mistreating people, abusing people, manipulating, controlling people, you're not a good person. And that's all ego pleasing. When man wants everything for himself, that's the ego. And most men and women too like to have their ego stroked and satisfied. So they got followers, tag-ons, entourage, whatever you want to call them, fans. Okay, but everybody want to be around them kind of people. But that person, if you're not a good person, all you're gonna do is just mistreat a whole bunch of people. And if what you're doing makes you, if wrongdoing makes you feel good, you're serving your ego, not God. Difference. And all you pastors in the pulpit who's having relationships with the people, congregation, the women in there, and all kind of other nonsense. You ain't serving the Lord, you serving yourself. And the people in the congregation, once they get wind of that, now they gotta make a decision. Again, that's what you gotta do. Once you find out something, now it's up to you to make the decision, do something about it. We all know the problem. Everybody tell you what the problem. How many of us trying to solve the damn problem? Moving on. Not to know God and just believe in God is in you. Okay, excuse me. Not to know God is in you. That's misunderstanding. And so-called, they call that what? Called you're asleep. You're not really woke. You're in the dream world. You being led by some superstitious nonsense, and because you believe it, you're going with it. Not the right way. With self-knowledge, you ain't got to be led by somebody else. You be led by your higher self. That's his job. Okay, if you let him do it. But in life, when you're ignorant of God, a lot of us are, even though we claim to believe in Him, we still ignorant. Why? Because we believe it. Believing means you don't know, so you still don't know. So you're ignorant of God. But all that rah rah rah, hoop up and talk, all that good talk, wearing fancy clothes to church and good in church and getting all sanctified, but you're not living right in your day-to-day life, you're not going to get anything. Well, I go to church, I pray. Okay, but how you living? Okay, you living in that dream world. That world, you still asleep. Why? We woke up to reality. Just like when we go to sleep in bed, we go into a dream state. In that world, we think it's real. It's all good for a few hours. We there. We wake up, bam, it's gone. Okay, that's the dream world. You should not be in this woke world, still living in the dream. Feel me? That's being ignorant. And we call it the veil. To lift the veil of ignorance means what? To lift the ignorance and become what? Knowledgeable. Erase the fact what you don't know with what? Fill it in with knowledge. What? Self-knowledge. But I want to go to school. I want to be an engineer. Okay, that's fine. But doing that, you still need to what? Learn yourself. Know thyself. Come on now. Make that a priority. Everything else should fall in behind it. And when you live in righteous, not special, just daily righteous living, doing the things that you need to do, maintaining your personal world, aka being obedient to God. You don't have to be a Muslim, Christian, or Jew to do that, right? Thinkers. I don't claim a religion. Why? I don't need to. I claim God. He don't care about the religion, so why should I? Moving on. I fellowship with religious people, no problem. But I ain't religious. Okay, I'm spiritual. And watch this. God blesses those who what? Who do good deeds. He don't give a damn if you're atheist, Christian, Muslim, or Jew. That's man's view. And man don't control no blessings for nobody but his own. If you put good work in, you get blessed. How do I know that? I know that for a fact. Why? I do it. I use it. When a man can guarantee you something, you might want to check that out. That's all I'm saying. I guarantee you do this, you get God's attention, and you'll know for yourself. Why? Through the blessings that you receive that only you and him know about. That's the blessing. The pastor says it best. God know your heart. He know you. You just don't know him. He always known you. He knows you before you got here. Remember, I know you in the mother's womb all the years. That means I know who you are. You just need to know who I am. So when you know who we are as one, that's how you can get back home to me. God used to walk the earth, but man, he decided, man, I ain't got time for this nonsense. When they get to me, they're like, we took care of this nonsense down here. Nonsense ain't happening up there. That's the concept. Y'all call it heaven. All right. Waking up is what? Is becoming conscious of what? Who you are, of your higher self. You think God up in heaven. I got to kill that thought. I swear to God, I don't want that thought in nobody's mind. Period. Why? It's just wrong. Why? Why should you even think that? That's just wrong. Whoever told you that, you should check them. Sorry. When you become conscious, that's when the dream world goes away and the real world starts to come into effect. How you gonna deal with that is the question. What you gonna do? Okay? No matter what asks, well, what you gonna do? In life, that's a question that your conscious always gonna ask you. Now what you gonna do? Take control. Enlightenment means to know something, to find something out, to come to grips to something that you didn't previously know. I get enlightened every day. That means you're learning something. And waking up to what? Your spiritual reality, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience in this physical world. Deal with that. The question, how you deal with that on a day-to-day basis. With right thinking philosophy. My goal is to what? Wake you up, aka spiritually enlighten you to what? God. God is spirit. I want to enlighten you to that. So I get excited. Spiritual enlightenment is getting God enlightenment. You're starting to know God. Why? By putting in the work, and He become what? Known to you now from the work that you put in. So God is spirit. Spiritual enlightenment is knowing God for yourself, becoming enlightened to God. So I feel like a preacher in the pulpit. All right, but that's my point. It's in you. We are all born or reincarnated, aka spiritually ignorant. We come into the world with no conscience, no memory of who we are. We have to find that out for ourselves through what? Daily living, 24 hours a day. I'm taking one day at a time. You can't take it all the damn way. So please, that's not a profound statement. That's just a fact, and everybody should understand it. Oh, I take one day at a time. I put my parents on one day at a time. Thanks for the information. We already know that. When again, people, don't think that I'm being smug or arrogant when you think you're informing me and I already got that information. We live in the information age. I'm full of information. A lot of y'all just full of shit. Okay, what information don't mean nothing, that's shit. Excuse my vernacular, but I gotta let that be known. I'm tired of hearing a bunch of shit. Useless information. To be enlightened is to know what you what didn't know prior. Until you experience it for yourself, it becomes gnosis. Now you have wisdom. I give you my life experiences on a day-to-day basis for the last 60 some odd years. I can do that daily. That's why I'm here. A few times. But when you have your own experience, it's called the awakening. It's called the spiritual, whatever, anointment, resurrection, all that good stuff is called. But when you experience it for yourself, it's called knowing thyself. Okay, for yourself. Gnosis, there we go. That word is to know what by experience. The Christians were called Gnostic Christians. They took the Gnostic off. Why? Because they didn't want you to know no more. They want you to just believe. Why? Because they're going to sell you a bill of goods that y'all been buying for the last 2,000 years. You can't seem to stop. It's like a drug. Y'all can't get off that heroin, that religion. With daily practice of my right thinking philosophy, you will. Why? You'll find out that you don't need that. If the church, if the people knew how to meditate, how to get to God within themselves, for themselves, what's the use of the church? Oh, it's a meeting place. There you go. Keep it in context, and you don't have to worry about it. Stop the lying. You got to worry about it. Keep it honest. We meet together to worship with the God that we believe in. That's fine. But don't tell me God is in the damn church or in the sky in heaven. So that's the point I got a problem with. I'm not sitting listening to that nonsense. BS. That's what that is. Believers in God would go with that. And who live right there. Even though you go, that's fine. You can believe that. But if you're living righteous daily because of that, you still gonna be blessed. Why? Because the work that you put in. They don't care what you believe. They don't care what you was told. But if you put the work in, you earn your blessing. That's what the concept I'm trying to explain to you as an individual. You don't need church. Not bashing, but that's not the. I went to my pastor over 10 years ago and said, look, my man, I'm going to fellowship with you guys. I think you're on the right track. We're doing and living what you practice. So I'm coming here to fellowship. I'm not coming here looking for God. Why? I already know God. I'm looking for somebody else who knows him and worship in the way I do. And I fell right on there. Still there. Moving on. So again, what somebody believe and practice, if you want to fellowship with them, that's fine. But what you do on a day-to-day basis between you and God, make it personal. Believing in God is not knowing God. Mm-mm. Serving and being blessed by God, that's knowing God. That's where I'm at right now. You can't tell me nothing about God, and I'm not a pastor. Again, I wish one of you so-called Bible thumpers, you don't want that. You don't want that smoke. Leave me be. All right. All this stuff I'm talking is real. All that stuff y'all presenting ain't. So we ain't in the same playing field. Moving on. Okay. My knowledge, my gnosis of God happened after what? Putting in the work. I didn't know what I was doing, I was not putting the work in. When I got rewarded, oh, I went double time. Sometimes, okay. Why? I'm trying to read the information age. I got plenty of information for you. I ain't around information. That's the last thing you should worry about. Don't worry about the cow being poor. Why? I generate knowledge from within myself. And I serve a God. Why? Because I know if I do what I'm supposed to or what I believe I should be doing, the right thing, I would be rewarded by who? My mother and father? Mm-mm. My boss don't have none. My spouse? Nope. That's why. And when you had that connection, when you had that understanding, you become untouchable. Okay, why? Man don't move you. Woman don't move you. Things in the world don't move you. That's why. And when you're rewarded by God, then you're doing something right. All you got to do is what? Continue to do it. Now, whatever you profess, it's fine. God could care less about that. Okay, that's between you and man. My belief is in God. But when I was, that's when I was ignorant. I just had belief in God. When I was running around rolling, man, I didn't need God. I got money, I got drugs, I got everything I need. When all that was taken away, all the material, everything, yeah, all that was gone. Oh God, yeah. He be just he just wait. I love that idea because he'll let you do whatever you want to do. Perfect. And when you get tired, when it all get, you got to what? Come through him. So yeah, go to him before that happens. That's what I'm trying to tell young people. If you start serving the Lord early in life, your life would be good. And I didn't know God back then. I just believed in him. I had no use for him. I didn't do nothing to earn no blessing. Remember, my phrase, me and my old man phrase was, it wasn't for bad luck. We had no luck at all. Why? Nothing ever good happened for us. I'm freaking out. You see why? We didn't at the time couldn't see the forest for the trees, but we was just chopping. We just rolling. Okay, that way of life don't end well. Okay, but here's the caveat, and I keep that around because there's a caveat. After all those years, okay, I started changing and started having a righteous lifestyle, living and serving God. Mm, mm. Talking about change. Talking about a difference. I'm still that same dude underneath. But on top, I'm a new man. Why? Because I made the change. I have knowledge of self now. I'm not ignorant doing dumb stuff to myself now. I'm trying to help others to do the same. That's why I do what I do for you. But that happened. That experience happened what, over 15 years ago now. And I teach you my life lessons. What? To get to God on your own, to do the things that I did, because He'll recognize that. As I know that. Don't worry, just keep living right. Here come. But I did. Just keep putting the work in. Here it come. All right. At the crossroads. Don't worry. He'll show up. All right, let me wrap this up again. I appreciate you tuning in. This is I thought it was gonna be a quick lesson. Let me wrap this up. Living right, no matter what you profess to be, could care less. And being blessed for that. That's being God conscious. Why? Because you're living right because you've been blessed. Your faith is, if I do this, I'm gonna get that. Yeah, I put that to the test so many times a long time ago, and it ain't failed yet. Feet don't fail me. No, God don't fail me now. You can claim to believe in God, and a lot of us do. But until you live right, okay, that's all you can do. Believe, okay? Why? You don't know. When you start being blessed for your actions and your deeds, you know God for yourself now. And those who you want to hang out with, you want them to what? Know God for themselves. Now we all together. That's spirituality. Okay, y'all call it church religion, all, but that's the concept. But when everybody's on the same accord, in their own individual, and when they come together, that's what they call ancestry prayer, group prayer. I'm on a prayer line every week, 20, 30 people. And we all get together for the common good. That's the difference. Now, if you're a Muslim and you live in righteous daily, guess what? You will be blessed, but not because you're Muslim, because of the deeds. If you're, I got a better one for you. If you're atheist, okay, you don't give a crap about God, but you're living righteous, you're doing the right thing, you will receive blessings from a God that you don't even believe in. Don't care what you believe. Again, the actions take care of that. Moving on. And since having self-knowledge is what? God knowledge, again, knowing thyself. To know thyself is to know God. Why? God is thy. Wrapping it up. Hope you get this understanding. I'm trying to drive this. I'm gonna drive this God stake home every chance I get. Last hammer. I know God. How? By the blessings that I receive. I know it didn't come from man. It don't come from me or my higher self. But I know it's coming from, again, higher self. That's God. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got the message. That's my message. That's my goal, to give you a message that you can use. Useful information, I call it. And in closing, right thinkers, may y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So none of my right thinkers who once they found God knew what to do with it and passed away.